Good morning, everyone. Hey. Yeah, I've been tagged by the wonderful Toya in Miami, to do a video based on 5 reasons why I chose to have a gastric bypass. So I'm about to share it with you. Toya, sorry, I know I said I was going to do it in a few days' time, but when I thought about the things, it's a holiday weekend over here in the UK, and I've got so much doing. This week has just been a packed week. Yeah, this week has been a packed week. So, I just thought to myself, you know what, just try and get it out of the way, because I still got to do a part 2 to my week 21 video. But yeah. So anyway, first and foremost, this is my 5 reasons. Number 1, in my family, on the father's side and the mother's side, there's a lot of health issues in relation to weight. Diabetes is one of them, high blood pressure and all kind of things. This noise is driving me nuts. Hold on. 1 minute. Oh God, hold on. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, family wise, we've got a lot of health issues on both sides relating to weight and diet basically. So I was my weight was going up thick and fast, and that was definitely the direction I was heading towards. And honestly speaking, I was feeling it, constantly out of breath. My legs felt like somebody had tied weights to my legs to go up the stairs. You know what I mean? Everything, I was slowing down rapidly. And there was an incident last year where, I got up out the chair and I bent over to pick up something. And it was like somebody was like sat on my back holding me down. And I struggled for the first time in my life to pick up my top half of my body to get up. And my son was like, what's going on? And he's like, Mom, get up, kind of thing. And the way he said, Mom, get up, I felt so bad. I really felt so bad. I thought, look what you've done to yourself, that your son has to see you like this, in this condition, that he's like, I was bent over, and just through hearing his voice, I just forced myself up. But it was like somebody was pulling me down, like kind of touch your toes position. I just went to bed and I couldn't get up. And I thought, I can't do this no more. And then, that was one of the reasons. And then at work, we have a uniform that we have to wear. And I could feel it in my arms, my top arm, triceps and that area, And it was like the shirts, I couldn't button up the top button of the shirt for the neck, the collar. And, it became increasingly tight. Like it was like, it was like going for like a blood test when they wrap something around your cuff. Because it was just so tight, and I just thought always searching the shops and looking for something that will fit, and the things that I wanted, it was never in my size. So I'd order the things, oh my God, it's in my size, yes, I'll go and get it, and then I have to send it back because it don't fit, and I just thought, I can't do this anymore. I just can't do this anymore. Food, I really love you, but I'm destroying myself, and I don't feel nice. Number 2, I started to withdraw. I withdrew from friends. I mean, they didn't see me for a couple of years. I had so many invitations to go places, and I just wouldn't go because I just felt big and people's going to see me. We even had a school reunion last year. I mean, I left, it was our 20th, I think it was 21 years since I left school. I'm 38 now, yeah. High school, 21 years ago. And it's like, I would have loved to go on and catch up with friends and stuff like that, and I just didn't want to go because I thought, my God, it's a high school reunion, and I haven't seen people since school, and everybody remembered me as a skinny girl, always doing athletics and dancing, long distance running, hurdles, table tennis, and or just tennis. So I was this run around girl, this little skinny little thing, and I was ashamed for them to see me all these years later looking like this, and I was so conscious of, like, people that couldn't get to go because it was a Facebook page that somebody had created together, and pictures, so people would see me. And I was funny about pictures. I only liked taking pictures of my face because I didn't want people to see this big stomach that I had in front of me, and me being overweight and stuff like that. So it affected my social life. It affected my social life, and I just missed out on so much. Wedding invitations, christenings, birthdays, reunions. I missed out on so much. I'd be all hyped up. Yeah, I'm coming. And I just withdraw and said, I'm not going. And I would just stay in my house. It'd be, summer and stay in my house. Winter, stay in my house, I just wouldn't go anywhere. I turned down, it was just work, home, and church. And that was it. I just would not go anywhere. So, and I used to be a person that you could, I always used to go out. I remember, even living at home when I was young with my mum and stuff like that, she used to say, what's up with you? Every minute you want to go out. Every minute you can't find nothing to do in the house. What do you want to go out for, I used to be an outgoing person, Yeah, so that's number 2. Number 3, public seating. That was another issue. Public seating. Public seating as in if you're using public transport, or if you're going out to the cinemas, you're going out to eat, you're going out to somewhere where you need to sit down. Sometimes the chairs were just too small, and I could never sit comfortably, or those ones where the table is drilled to the floor and the chair is drilled to the floor like a booth, and trying to slide my stomach in there with my stomach half hanging on the table and stuff. On the train and on the buses, many times, I always try and sit at the window seat, or it doesn't matter where I sat, but if you sat in a chair that was maybe for 2 people, once I sat in a chair, somebody would come and sit down and get up and move away. And I remember getting on a bus one day, and I was sat by the window, and the amount of people, there was an extra space for a chair, but because I'd taken up, there wasn't a divider. I'd taken up so much of the chair that people come. It was like somebody new come, sat down, 2 seconds, got up and moved somewhere else. Somebody else got another stop. Somebody gets on the bus, came, sat down, waited for a few seconds, got up and moved somewhere else. It was just like that from the minute I got out of that chair. And it was even like that on the train. Or even on going on a plane, same thing, public seating on the plane. People they wouldn't say anything to me, get up and go and complain to the air hostess, that girl's taking up all the seat because of her size, and then they would go and accommodate them, And in public, especially on a plane, I had to ask for an extended seatbelt, that orange extended seatbelt, because the things like that just didn't fit. I just couldn't get it around my stomach because I was that big. There was like, I used to love going on roller coaster rides. I didn't ever go anymore. I stopped going because I just couldn't fit, So, it's things like that. And where you're in a public place and those things, it can't be held like in a confidential way. And they will come up with this big orange seatbelt, especially on the plane. Oh, here you go. Here's your extended seatbelt. And it's bright orange, and, everybody's looking at you like, oh, what's that she's got? You know what I mean? So, those were my 3 reasons. 4, I've mentioned in my previous videos that I about 4 years ago, I married the wrong man, the wrong person. And my weight came up as a big issue in that marriage. Well, it's not a marriage because I managed to get the marriage annulled after all what they put me through. He wouldn't sign the because they wanted money and stuff like that. When I say they, him and the entourage, the family, and things came out, where especially the wicked mother-in-law that I had, she was so nice to me. I loved her and I appreciated her. I would do anything for her. And then I could not believe when people started to, especially that side of the family, got friendly with me and let me know what was being said about me from this woman. I can't believe that anybody could have been so wicked, and she was one of the main reasons why the marriage just did not work, because literally she told her son to leave me. I found out on the day of the wedding that she was telling him not to marry me, and she had a major issue with my weight, a major issue with my weight, and she was saying some real nasty stuff about me, and I could not believe that this woman anybody could be so two-faced, and it hurt me to an extent that I ate myself emotionally because I couldn't tell people. It's like I entered a secret battle that I'd married somebody. The marriage was over before it started, and I felt that I'd let a lot of people down because we went abroad and got married and stuff, and family and friends were there. They all came. And, I put people through so much, as in they gave me money, they paid for their airline tickets, they brought their kids and their families with them. And to know that my marriage didn't even last a day, I'm serious, it didn't even last a day, and it's taken me years of going through the court systems here and battling because I was married in a different country. To sort it out, and that contributed towards my weight because I couldn't, as much as I wanted to tell people that the marriage was over, I couldn't. I felt so ashamed of myself. I felt so bad. And I still had people come. My marriage was over, and I had people come up to me saying, "Oh, Ebony, congratulations! Oh, let me see your wedding ring." And da 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 da. "Oh, why are you not wearing your wedding ring?" "Oh, it's just a bit too tight. Just want to lose a little." You know what I mean? Things like that. The marriage was over, and I entered a secret battle where I got choked. There were times, people were congratulating me, and "Oh, Ebony, I'm so happy for you," and da 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 da. And I was putting on this mask like everything was okay, and there were times where people was talking to you and I'm like, "Oh, thank you. And this time I'm holding back the tears in my eyes. Because I didn't want them to know. I was too ashamed to say it's over. You know what I mean? Because there were some people that was right. The guy wasn't the right person for me, but they didn't tell me that he wasn't the right person for me. Some family members wasn't happy about it, but being in love and stuff like that. And it was just, I thought, oh my God, because I've let a lot of people down. And oh yeah, I did that word, "I told you so," you know what I mean? But I put in a lot in that marriage. Leading up to the marriage, I worked my backside off. I wanted this beautiful fairy tale wedding, and it turned out to be a disaster. That woman, that wicked mother-in-law, she went as far as sabotaging the wedding. She stole things, stole my money, stole all kind of things, and I was masking over everything, and it went ahead, And then what really hurt me, the day after I got married, my ex said he had to go out and do something. And I thought, we just got married. You're supposed to stay with your wife. You don't get up and go out. And he just said, I'm just going to do something quickly. And I ended up spending the day of my marriage on my own. And when I called him, I said, where are you? Oh, I'm at Mum's house having dinner. He's at his mum's house having dinner. And I said, I'm here and I've not eaten any food and whatever. Why don't you just make yourself something to eat? I said, I'm not exactly home, am I? So, yeah. But I got out of it. I broke through out of it. I broke out of it. But the things that woman said about me, and some of his family members didn't get to see me. And when they found out who I was and actually got to meet me, they were shocked because they said, I'm sorry, but you don't look like the person this woman described you to be. She said that I was so big and fat and disgusting, and I smelt, and I had rolls of fat on me, and I was an old grey-headed woman with the walking stick. Yeah, that's what she said. And how I begged her son to marry me. I begged her son to marry me. You understand? And she even went as far as saying, I'm going to say it, but if you don't want to hear any further, but this is the truth. She went as far as saying I was so fat that her son couldn't have with me properly. Yeah. He couldn't even, that's how disgusting this woman was. And she was laughing and smiling in my face. Oh, my daughter-in-law. And she was walking and disgracing me. And she was just working on her son to leave me until he left me. And then she was happy. Yes, Ebony is a careless, worthless girl. And my son has left her for better. You know what I mean? Left her for better. So, I went into denial. I went into another. And I just thought to myself, Ebony, never, ever, 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 ever let anybody have a hold of you like that again, because you know what, you don't have time to waste. Life is too short. Life is too short. You have no time to waste. And do something. You can stand still, suffer, do nothing, stay in this situation. Well, it came to a point where he wasn't even care about doing a divorce or anything like that, because he'd met somebody else, got them pregnant, and he was so overjoyed about this baby that was coming. And I thought, can you imagine, I just married this man, and it was like I hadn't even married this man. And I think the final shock came to me, how blasé how quick he had moved on and stuff like that. And he went as far as putting, went and settled with another woman, and the baby was born. I remember the night the baby was born. No one had to tell me that the baby was born. It's like, I don't know. I could tell. I felt like I was giving birth that night. Strange, but I actually felt that day I was sick. I was dizzy. My head was hurting me. My stomach was hurting me, and it was like a spiritual birth. Like I felt like I wanted to push, and I was rolling around in the bed. It's like this horrible feeling came over me. We were talking just on and off kind of thing, and then I remember I was ringing him and I couldn't get through to him, and then I messaged him to say, is that baby born? Because I was so sick last night. I felt like I was giving birth. I'm serious, guys. I'm serious. I felt like I woke up in the morning. I felt like I'd given birth and my baby had been stolen from me. That's how I felt. And he didn't reply to me. Then a few days later, he puts the pictures out on, Facebook. Everybody, just want to say my beautiful princess is born, and da-da-da-da. And people started to call me and congratulate me that I've had a baby. Oh, you and your husband's had a baby. So even though I was in this secret battle I know, strange. I went through hell, guys. I went through hell. So I was eating more and more and more because I couldn't tell anybody what was going on, you know. So I had nobody to talk to, and I was really alone. And, you know, the only person I had to talk to was God, you know what I mean? And that's how I formed a relationship with God, because I just couldn't believe that this person had done this to me, that I put so much effort and stuff into. And I worked hard to get him where he was, and he just didn't feel no way to just diss me once he had it all. You understand? So, and I lost out a lot financially and stuff like that. But then again, I said I need to take charge back of my life. And yeah, so that was my number 4. But number 5 gets better. You know, I'll tell you something. If you ask God for something, he really gives you what your heart desires, because he sent a man in my life that's a million times better. And even in my worst condition, my partner, he loves me more than I love him. I love him, but sometimes you can't give that. I think because I've been burned before, sometimes you hold back, even if it's a 1%. I still love him. I love him 100%, but sometimes I'll only show him 99%, so I'll keep that 1% for myself. You know, cheat them means sometimes got to keep them keen, you know. And he looks better, he does the business in bed better, he treats me like a princess. And even in my worst condition at that size, nobody, not even his mother, sister, brother, nobody can tell him anything about me. Yeah, because like he's had people that try whisper, oh my God, the girl is like, well, she's fat. Can she fit in the car? How's she going to get out of the car? And he's shut them down, put them in their place. You know, he's told me like people tried to come at, like, you know, sister-in-law tried to say something, and, you know, and his brother tried to say something, his sister tried to say something. He just shut them down and said, listen, nobody tell me about my woman. Nobody comes between me and my woman. You understand? So like, God bless me with my man that even in my worst condition, he's just that's just my backbone. He's my best friend. My best friend. Nobody can tell him nothing. And you know, he wasn't ashamed to take me out in public and wash my feet in public. You know, one time I went to this beach because oh my God, he's so good looking. Yeah, we went to the beach one time, and what happened? Yeah, I see some girls, they were eyeing him up like, oh my God, he looks good. And then when they see him with me, it's like, what's that nice looking dude doing with her? You understand? So when they eat, you know, they don't even have to say anything. Just the eyes speak a lot of words, you know, and they, you know, the eyebrows and kind of thing, you know. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, so like he will go out that one step further, like, yeah, on the beach and you're looking at me, yeah, I look nice, but my woman is nicer and I love her even more than you. So, you know, he would be like, come honey, let me wash the sand off your feet, you know, let me cream your feet for you and massage you and stuff like that. Oh, he treats me like a princess, you know. So yeah, God sent somebody in my life that's just worth living for. And, you know, honestly speaking, he didn't want me to go for the surgery. He went on YouTube and researched it, and it was like, Ebony, are you serious? Are you sure, Ebony? Because, oh God, Ebony, they're going to cut your stomach, they're going to cut you open, you know. And I'm like, no, I definitely want this surgery. And it's like, are you sure? Oh, Ebony, are you sure? Oh God, look at the time. But yeah, I wish I could be here all day to tell you about it. But yeah. He didn't really want me to have the surgery, but like, you know, he supported my decision, and, you know, he's been my rock, you know, and he, you know what I mean? And even like with the whole, like my pictures and how I look now, and me going to the gym, he's just like, oh my gosh, Ebony, no man, you're going on too hard, man. You're going on hard. I said, Ebony, you look good. And you know what I mean? It's just making me feel like, yes. You know what I mean? It's worth, you know, it's worth fighting for. But I understand I needed the surgery for the help. So, yeah, I'm with somebody, and who knows where this relationship will lead to, but it's all good. I mean, I'm a spoiled brat, you know, he spoils me. You know what I mean? I couldn't ask for anybody better. And yeah. So the good, you know what I mean? And he's just, you know, right throughout the surgery, he's just been there for me, and he encourages me. You know what I mean? And you know what? I just thought I need to take charge and a hold of myself and do something about this. And even though his family love me and stuff like that, I'm still a bit wary that things enter people's mind and they say stuff and they don't think about it. And I don't really, you know what I mean? I just feel like for how good he's treated me and been there for me, I need to do for him as well. And not just for him, my son as well. My son, you know, I need to do well for my son. So, you know, I want to be here for him, to see him graduate from university. Well, he's at school now, but he wants to go university one day. And, you know, I want to see my son get married and have kids. And, you know what I mean? I want to be there for him. So I don't want to be a mother that's going to, like, you know, can't be there for him or die because of bad health. So, yeah, guys. There's really a million one reasons why I had this surgery. I've been through a lot. I've been through a hell of a lot. But you know what? The surgery is worth the sacrifice. Definitely worth the sacrifice. The pain, the sweat, the food, denying your stomach of all those gorgeous foods out there is worth it. You know, because my whole life has just changed before my eyes. And it gets better by the second. So thank you, Toya. I'm sorry that it's gone on for so long, but I tried to bring it down to 5, but all these other things just popped up. But yeah, there we go. But yeah, anyway, that's me. That's my 5 reasons. Okay, bye.